All right, welcome back. I got a few minutes, so I thought I would bring up a topic that some of you may be interested in. I came up with maybe the 5 most asked questions we get every day by retail people. And these are not in any particular order, and one of them is not necessarily more than the other. These are just some that kind of came to my head. So I thought that might be kind of interesting. If you've watched our earlier videos, you know that we have lots of people here and lots of people here at one time, a lot of times in the summer. So it's a constant questions all day long, which I understand. I'm the type of person that likes to ask questions where I go places too. So anyway, so here they are in no particular order. Number 1. If you've seen our videos before, you've seen how we sell our shelled peas in those 4-pound bags. When people come and buy peas, they want to know, is this a bushel? Okay, most people don't really know what a bushel is. That's all they really know to ask for is that. If I took 10 people and sent them to the field with a bushel basket and said, fill it up with peas, and they came back and we shelled each one of them individually, there would be 10 different weights of shelled peas on each one of those baskets. So a bushel is a volume measurement. Well, we can't fill up bushel baskets and then shell them, so there are places that will call a shelled bushel 10 pounds of peas, and there are places that will call it 8 pounds of peas. So it's very inconsistent, but it really doesn't matter. We sell them in 4-pound bags. So when you get peas, you're getting 4 pounds of peas. That's couldn't be any more simpler. So people still will ask, well, is this a bushel? Is this a half a bushel? It doesn't matter. It's 4 pounds of peas. So we get that question all the time. You can pack a bushel basket down tight as you can get it, or you can fluff it up, or you can have a bunch of peas that are not filled out. You can have big peas, you can have little peas. Maybe it was dry, maybe you've been watering them. Zipper cream crowder peas are going to weigh more than purple hulls. It's just easiest for us to sell them one way in 4-pound bags. So that's why we do that. Question number 2. Can I pay in advance and you hold it for me? The answer has always been, ever since we started, no. And it's not because we don't want to be nice or kind. These are perishable products. We want to get rid of them as fast as possible. The last thing I need is a stack over to the side holding it of people with their name on it who more than likely are not going to come back when they say they've come back. And that's from past experience. So first come, first serve. That's the easiest way. I try to tell people if we don't have it, the best time to come back, but we're not going to take money in advance, and start holding it. So that, to me, that's the way we do it. That's the simplest way. Question number 3. What do y'all put in those cantaloupes to make them so big? Well, there's several different factors. One of them is variety. Now, we've planted 3 different varieties over the last 10 years maybe, and we've gotten them all that big. But the variety has a lot to do with it. We used to plant Minerva. I don't even know if it's even around anymore. They used to get really big. Then we switched to Aphrodite. Same thing, they would get pretty big. The ones we have this year are Avatar. A lot of it has to do with what you feed them as far as nutritional wise and water. We try to give them the best I know how to do it, and we kind of do it the same way. And I think I mentioned in a couple of videos ago, they tend to get a little bigger as the summer goes because they haven't had that cold weather on them, maybe when they were younger. So it's really no secret recipe. You got to have good soil type, keep them clean, pest-wise, water, plenty of fertility, and a good variety. Question number 4. Do you have yellow watermelons? All right, we plant yellow watermelons every year, but I know kind of how many to plant in relation to the red ones. Now you might say, well, if people are always asking you, why don't you plant more? Well, it's not that easy. What I don't want is us, when we get ready to harvest, to bring in trailer loads of yellow at a time when we have red that also need harvesting, because these guys in the back don't want trailer loads of all yellow unless that is their only option. So if I planted more, I would have to have more for the back guys to have more for the front door people, if that makes sense. So we kind of stick with our same ratio of red to yellow. We don't have them for retail all the time, so that's why we get that question a lot. Next question. Do you have unshelled peas? We get this every day, and I pretty much give them the same answer. So many people want to buy the peas already shelled, but there is a certain percentage of people out there that like to shell their own peas. It takes them back to their childhood. They were sitting around with grandma, sitting on the front porch, shelling peas. I understand that. But we can only pick so many peas every day. And as long as we are selling out of the shelled peas every day, I don't really want to sell any unshelled. It's not because I don't want you to have any. Now, later in the summer, like we are now, it's the 3rd week of July. We only got a couple of weeks left to the public. I'm probably going to start selling some that way, because our demand for our shelled peas has dropped off some compared to what it was, because so many people have gotten them. So then again, you might say, well, why don't you just pick more or plant more? Well, then you got to have more labor and all that. We only can pick a certain amount every day. So it's something that I haven't quite figured out the best way to do it. And I can't tell people, okay, yeah, we're going to have unshelled peas, and then all these people show up, and then, it's kind of a catch-22 for me. But we get that question a lot. Last question, as far as some of the most common questions. What variety of tomatoes are these? Okay, for many, many years, all I planted was Amelia. Living in the South, the deep South, I have to have a variety of tomato that is spotted wilt resistant, or I will not make anything. Now, you may get away with it in your garden at home, but large scale, I have to have that. So I have to pick from a variety that is spotted wilt resistant. Okay, the commercial varieties are not going to be anything that the average person has ever heard of. You're not going to find it at your local feed store or Home Depot or whatever. So every year I would try a little bit of a different variety in addition to Amelia. There's really no reason for me to have a bunch of different tomato varieties, because we don't keep them separate. It would be too much trouble. So last year I planted Roadster, one word. They did really well. I planted half of that and half of Amelia. They tend to get a little bigger. They're also spotted wilt resistant. They tend to ripen up a little better inside at times, especially when it's so hot. So this year I switched 100% to Roadster. Now, as long as they do well for me, I'll probably stick with them until I maybe find something better. But when we tell people that, I haven't found anybody that's ever heard of it. They don't know the difference, which is fine. They're just curious. They just want to know. So we don't do any heirlooms or anything like that. So anyway, I thought y'all would enjoy maybe, or be curious to know what some of our common questions are from our retail side. The number one question I get from the wholesale guys in the back door is, when can I get a load of watermelons? And I tell them the same thing: come get in line like everybody else. So it's first come, first serve. Now, we finished up on the watermelons today, July the 17th. I've never had this long of a gap, but it's going to be the 1st of August, probably before my next field is ready. When that starts and we're about ready to shut down to the public, then I do the watermelons to the guys in the back by appointment only, and that works well. They love that. I don't have to deal with any of the retail stuff, and all the tomatoes and all that's over. It makes it easy. I can't do it by appointment up until then because it's too chaotic. I got too much going on. So it'll be easy then for those guys to get what they want. I'll just schedule so many people each day. So that's how we'll do it then. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thought y'all might enjoy that. See y'all next time.